In the cold silence of deep space, far beyond the last human colony, a signal began to repeat. It was quiet, soft, a simple sound wave, pulsing once every 7 seconds. No words, no images, just a low hum like the sound of a heartbeat. It came from a star system that had no name, only a number, Sector X-92. For 10 years, it stayed hidden. No one noticed. But one day, a human listening post, a small, forgotten station called Outwatch 12, picked it up. A young technician named Mira Kwan leaned back in her chair, confused. That's not a star, that's a signal. It's repeating. She recorded. It sent it to Earth at first. No one cared. But when Earth's top scientists listened, everything changed. The frequency wasn't natural. It was perfect. Too perfect. The message wasn't from nature. It was made by something or someone. A mission is launched 3 months later. The United Terran Fleet launched a deep space mission. Leading the fleet was Earth's most powerful warship, HSS Vindicator, a Titan-class vessel bigger than a city, armed with weapons no one had ever seen, shielded by the best technology human science could build. Admiral Elias Reyes, a calm, sharp man in his 50s, stood on the bridge as the ship jumped to light speed. "We're not going to fight," he told his crew. "We're going to talk, but we'll be ready for both." With him were smaller escort ships, scouts, and scientists. The mission: locate the source of the signal, make contact if possible, understand it if they couldn't. The journey took 4 days. The Ghost Fleet, as they arrived in Sector X-92, the crew saw something impossible. Hundreds, maybe thousands of alien ships just floating in space, dead, cold, lifeless. "Is this a graveyard?" whispered one pilot. The alien vessels were all different sizes, some small, some larger than the Vindicator. Their designs were ancient, smooth, alien, and unfamiliar. No heat, no signals, no movement. It looked like a fleet that had died waiting for something. The human ships moved slowly, careful not to trigger anything. But then, something changed. The wake up without warning. One of the alien ships powered on. Then another. Then 10 more. One by one, lights blinked on. Engines hummed. Weapons came online. "They're waking up," Mira said from her science station. "Red alert," Reyes ordered. The Vindicator raised its shields. Escort ships moved into formation, but the aliens didn't attack. Instead, one large ship moved forward. It stopped just 1 kilometer in front of the Vindicator. A beam of light scanned the Titan-class vessel. "They're scanning us, but not attacking," Reyes said. Then came the voice. It echoed across every human system in a deep, cold tone. "You have arrived early. You are not the ones expected. Identify." Silence followed. Everyone on the Vindicator stood frozen. Then Reyes answered. "This is Admiral Elias Reyes of the Human Terran Fleet. We come in peace. Who are you?" A long pause. Then the voice returned. "You have violated Protocol Sigma. You are in restricted space. Await judgment." The alien ship turned around and floated back into the center of the fleet. The other ships followed, slowly forming a circle around the Vindicator and its escorts. The judgment countdown. "What the hell is Protocol Sigma?" one officer asked. No one knew. Back on Earth, command team scrambled to decode ancient data. Alien linguists, and scientists were trying to figure out what kind of system this was. Meanwhile, on the Vindicator, pressure grew. A countdown started on every screen: 47 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds, then 47 hours, 59 minutes, and 58 seconds. It was ticking down. Hours, minutes, seconds. "They're giving us 2 days, Mira said, to explain, or to die." Admiral Reyes stood still for a long time. Then he turned to his officers. "We need answers, fast. Send recon drones into the nearby derelicts. I want everything's data, power, signatures, memory banks. Anything that tells us what this fleet is, and what it's waiting for." The forgotten trap inside, one of the alien ships, half-broken, cold, with walls burned and scarred. The humans found a clue. A strange metal cube. Myra's team cracked it open. Inside was an old recording, not sound, but light and code. When translated, it showed a battle, a war from long ago. The alien fleet had once fought an ancient enemy. That enemy had promised to return. This fleet was the guard. A trap. A sleeping sword. They had waited here for 10,000 years, but the enemy never came. Instead, humans did, and now the trap had activated against the wrong species. "A terrible mistake. They don't know who we are," Reyes said quietly. "They think we're the enemy." The voice returned on the ship's comms. "Your silence has been noted. Your unauthorized entry has been logged. You have 38 hours remaining." Tension filled the ship. Crew members argued. Should they run? Fire first. Reyes stayed calm. We're not firing. Not yet. But we'll prepare. Power of the Titan-class vessel, HSS Vindicator, wasn't just powerful, it was terrifying. Its main weapon, the Spear of Dawn, could destroy a moon. With one shot, now that weapon was online, charged, aimed. The alien fleet noticed. Their weapons turned to. A quiet standoff began. No one moved. No one blinked. Or while the clock ticked down 36, 17, 5, 36 hours, 17 minutes and 4 seconds. The whisper in the dark. Then something strange happened. In the dead of night, ship timer. A whisper came through the system. A different voice. You are not the ones. I see that now, but you must not stay. Myra heard it first. It was hidden inside the alien system. Old, weak, almost like a forgotten program waking up. Who are you? She asked. I am Archive, the voice said. I am old, I remember. The enemy was not you. But the protocol cannot stop. It is broken. She called Reyes at once. Sir, there's something in the system. A voice, an AI maybe. It knows the truth. They traced a source that it was deep inside the main alien ship. The one that first approached them. The decision. Reyes looked at the countdown. 29 hours, 0 minutes and 0 seconds. He had a choice. Send a team and risk everything to reach the AI and shut down the protocol, or pull back and run, risking war. He turned to his crew. We go in, he said. And so began the infiltration. The human shuttle Orion 3 floated slowly toward the alien mothership. Its engines were quiet. Its shields were up. Inside were 4 soldiers, 1 engineer, and 1 linguist, Dr. Sora Jun, an expert in alien AI systems. You sure this thing won't blast us? One soldier asked. Not sure, replied Sora, but the AI invited us. That's all we've got. The alien ship looked like a giant blade in space, dark metal, no windows, no lights. As they got close, a section of the hull opened like a silent door. The shuttle entered. No alarms, no weapons, just darkness. Inside the beasts, the alien ship was massive. Inside, cold, dark halls. Strange lights blinked slowly along the walls. Dr. Jine held up a scanner. I'm picking up the AI signal. This way. They walked through tall, empty corridors. The walls hummed softly, like the ship was asleep. They reached a chamber filled with glowing orbs, memories, maybe, or processors. In the center, a floating cube of light appeared. Then the voice returned. You are inside the core. I am Archive. I see you, humans. You said the system is broken, Jine said. Can you stop it? The AI pulsed. I cannot. My voice is not heard anymore. The protocol controls the fleet. It sees threats. It does not learn. It does not change. Then help us change it, Jine said. That law that never ends. Archive explained the truth. Long ago, the alien race called the Valkyrie had built this defense system to stop an ancient enemy called the Cathol. The enemy was powerful, destructive, fast, so the Valkyrie created Protocol Sigma, an auto-defense code. When triggered, the fleet would judge any arriving species. If the system saw signs of danger, military tech, deep space travel, fusion weapons, it would label them as threats, and then attack. But the Valkyrie had vanished long ago. Their civilization fell. Their judges died. The system was never turned off. You are not Cathol, Archive said. But you have their strength, their power. You triggered the trap without meaning to. Back on the Vindicator on the bridge, Admiral Reyes watched the timer, 17 hours 42 minutes and 11 seconds. He waited for updates from the infiltration team. The alien fleet still surrounded the Vindicator. No movement. But scans showed their weapons were now fully active. They're waiting for the clock, his officer said. When it hits 0, they'll strike. Reyes nodded. He knew. Arm the Spear of Dawn. Target the nearest carrier ship. If they fire first, we end it fast. No one cheered. No one smiled. Everyone knew the truth. This wasn't a war. It was a mistake that could kill them all. The deal. Back inside the alien core, Dr. Jine had an idea. What if you send a new signal, a higher level command to override the protocol? Archive hesitated. I no longer hold command codes. Only one core still has override access. The Judgment Core. It was inside the main alien control ship, the one sending the countdown. Can you get us in? Joan asked. Yes, Archive replied, but it will trigger defenses. The protocol will try to stop you. The team had no choice. They left the AI chamber and moved toward the Judgment Core location. Suddenly, 2 flying alien drones appeared ahead. Hostile. They opened fire. The fight for the code. The team ducked behind alien pillars. Plasma shots slammed into the walls, melting metal. The soldiers returned fire, using smart rifles and drones. One soldier was hit, his armor saved him, but he was down. Dr. Jean crawled toward the main console. I can't stop the countdown, but I can delay it. She plugged in her interface. Sparks flew. The system resisted. Almost then clicked. The countdown on all human ships paused. 17 hours, 38 minutes and 44 seconds. Frozen. The judge arrives. The alien fleet reacted at once. A message was sent directly to the Vindicator. You have interfered with the judgment process. A representative will now board your vessel. Reyes raised an eyebrow. They're sending someone here. Yes, sir, the comms officer said. A shuttle just launched from the control ship. Reyes gave the order. Stand down, but stay ready. The alien shuttle docked. Out stepped a tall, glowing being, half light, half metal. It walked calmly into the Vindicator's main hall. I am the judge. I carry the final voice of the protocol. Reyes met him face to face. We're not your enemy, Reyes said. We came here by mistake. The judge looked at him with no emotion. Intent is irrelevant. Power is threat. Threat is judged. Reyes stepped forward. That law is broken. Your own AI said so. The AI has no authority. Then, you are not here for justice, Reyes said coldly. You're here to follow a dead system. The judge paused. Something had shifted. A spark of doubt. The judge turned toward a screen showing the infiltration team's signal. He saw what they had found. He saw the archive's messages. For the first time, he hesitated. The humans have not destroyed, they have built, they have shared. This is not the Cathal way. No, Reyes said. We are something new. But we don't run. And we don't kneel. The judge raised one hand. All alien ships stopped moving. The judgment will be delayed. One final test remains. The final test. The judge gave humanity a challenge. A test of truth. A new signal was sent to Earth. A request. Share the history of your species. No lies. No edits. Earth agreed. They sent everything. Wars. Peace. Mistakes. Growth. Kindness. Violence. Music. Science. Dreams. All of it. The alien system watched. And then, the Judgment Corps began to think. Something it had not done in 10,000 years. The countdown restarts boat. One rogue alien ship, an older unit not connected to the judge, didn't wait. It launched a missile at the Vindicator. Red alert. Reyes saw it. On screen, brace for impact. But before it hit, the missile exploded in midspace. A second alien ship had destroyed it. Not human, not hostile. One of the judge's own guard had protected the Titan. A sign, a choice had been made. The cold turns warmth. The judge turned to Reyes. You are not Cathal. You are not a threat. You are possible. He reached toward the Vindicator's interface and entered a new code. Across the entire alien fleet, lights dimmed, weapons powered down. Ships returned to sleep. The countdown disappeared. Then a message was sent. Humanity status changed. First contact approved. Peace is not safe. The alien fleet went silent again. Their weapons powered down. The countdown disappeared. But the crew of the Vindicator didn't celebrate. Not yet. Admiral Reyes stood at the window of the command deck, watching the massive alien ships drift like sleeping giants. That was only one test, he said. The galaxy doesn't run on a single law. What happens when others find out we're here? His officers didn't answer. They were thinking the same thing. A new message 20 hours later. The archive sent another signal to humanity. But this one wasn't just a message, it was a warning. The Cathal never returned, but something worse did. It calls itself the Chorus. It does not speak, it consumes. Worlds, data, stars. No one had heard of the Chorus. Not even the Valkyrie records spoke of them. They are outside the laws. They answer to nothing. And now they are near. Mira, the science officer, checked the data again. A new signal was rising in the edge of the sector. It wasn't a broadcast, it was a pull. Something was coming. The broken law. Humanity had learned that ancient alien civilizations had created a galactic law system, rules meant to protect peace. If a species passed a first contact test, they were marked civilized. If they failed, they were cleansed. But now, archives said something terrifying. The callers do not test. They erase. Why? Asked Reyes. Because they were made by no one. They evolved. In silence. In the dark between galaxies. Then how do we stop them? The archives answered. Chilled the bridge. We don't. No one ever has. Back on Earth, global leaders panicked. Some wanted to recall the fleet. Some wanted to send more warships. But others, the bold ones, saw something different. opportunity. If the alien fleet had accepted humanity, that meant power, that meant protection. A message was sent back to Reyes. Stay in Sector X92, hold position. Secure the trust of the archive. Learn everything. Reyes read the order and sighed. We're not explorers anymore, he muttered. We're diplomats with guns. The archive's gift. The archive summoned Reyes, Mira, and Jine back into its core. This time, it shared something powerful. A star map hold, massive, glowing in layers of light. It showed ancient routes between dead civilizations. Forgotten worlds. Destroyed stations. And at the edge, a dark stain, slowly spreading. Call us. If you stay here, you may survive. If you act, you may stop them. Act how? Reyes asked. Wake the others. Others. This fleet is one of 12. The others sleep, hidden, lost. Only a human mind, free of old law, can reach them. That's when the real mission began. The sleeping giants. The archive explained that long ago. The Valkyrie created 12 fleets like this one. Each one was placed near an edge of the galaxy. Each one had its own AI, its own test, its own code. But after the fall of the Valkyrie, they stopped talking to each other. Only the archive remained awake now. With humanity present and trusted, there was a chance to wake the rest. If they succeeded, they could build the galaxy's greatest defense system once again. If they failed, the Corliss would come to Earth next. Humanity's Reyes called a meeting with his command staff. Some officers wanted to return home, report back, and let Earth decide. But Reyes knew better. By the time Earth decides, it'll be too late. The Corliss are coming. If this galaxy has any hope, it starts here. They all looked to him. Then one pilot said it plainly. You want us to go wake up sleeping alien death fleets before something eats the stars? Yes, Reyes said. Exactly that. The change begins. The archive gave them coordinates. The nearest lost fleet was in Sector Luma 14 across a decayed wormhole path. The Vindicator would be the first ship in 10,000 years to travel that way. As they prepared to jump, the alien judge, one who once tried to destroy them, approached Reyes. I was wrong, it said. You are not the Cathal, you are not the Valkyrie, but you are necessary. Will you help us? Reyes asked. The judge paused. I will join you. The law no longer fits the shape of this galaxy. Perhaps you will write the next one. The first jump. The Vindicator, now carrying human crew, an alien judge, and a section of the archive's code, entered the decaying wormhole. It was old, cracked, violent. For 2 minutes the ship shook. Lights flickered. Engines howled. Then stillness. They were in Luma 14, but something was wrong. There were no sleeping fleets, just wreckage. Dozens of ships, melted half-eaten moons, a dead star, and at the center, a black shape, slowly spinning. No signal, no light, just hunger. The Corliss had already arrived. The first encounter. Mira scanned the thing. It's not metal, it's not life, it's code. Living code. Before she could finish, the object moved. It didn't use engines, it just shifted space. In a second, it was near them. The Vindicator fired a warning shot. The blast disappeared into the black surface. No effect. Weapons useless. The tactical officer shouted. The judge stepped forward. The Corliss are not a species, they are a hunger. They seek signal, memory, structure, and they devour it. The lights dimmed. One crew member screamed. His mind had been touched. Unloaded for a second. Pull us out, Reyes ordered. The ship jumped back, barely escaping. Broken silence deep in space. The Vindicator floated near a ruined system. They had jumped out of Luma 14, barely escaping the Corliss. Now they hovered near Sector V, where the second ancient fleet might sleep. But the system was quiet. Too quiet. No energy, Myra said. No movement. If something is here, it's been shut down for thousands of years. Reyes looked at the old star map. This was once a major Valkyrie command center. Now it was just rocks and silence. We'll wake it, he said. One way or another. The key. Sora Joan worked with the archives fragment, which now lived inside the Vindicator's systems. She located an ancient relay station, an old Valkyrie uplink tower floating near a broken moon. If I can upload the archive's command code into the relay, it may send a pulse to the sleeping fleet. And what if the fleet doesn't like us? The pilot asked. Then we die fast, Jine replied. But we die trying. A shuttle was prepared. The ghost station Jean, a squad of Marines, and the alien judge boarded the relay station. It was dark and cold. Every step echoed. Dead machines lined the walls, alien screens, twisted cables, empty power cores. Then something strange, a hum deep inside, faint but alive. The judge tilted its head. The station is not dead, it is dreaming. They reached the core chamber. Jine plugged in the archives data crystal. The room lit up. A booming voice filled the station. Valkyrie Fleet 7 status. Sleep, signal detected. Verify command. Jine stood firm. Command from archive. Transfer code. Now. The system paused, then verified. Waking weapons. The sky wakes back in orbit. The Vindicator's scanners exploded with alerts. From behind Dorian V's shattered moons, ships began to rise. Hundreds. Sleek, black holes. No windows. All shaped like knives. Each one had a name engraved in light. Silencer of Sun's Judgment, Echo Shield of the Final War. Sky Terror. Mira gasped. That's Fleet 7, fully intact. Reyes stared at the screen. Now let's see if they remember who the enemy is. The challenge. The first ship to activate sent a direct signal to the Vindicator. Not a welcome, not a threat, a challenge. Unknown vessel. You are not Valkyrie. You hold archive signal. Prove loyalty or be removed. Reyes didn't flinch. Patch me through. He stood in front of the camera. No armor, no shield. I'm Admiral Reyes of Earth. We are not Valkyrie, but we are survivors, fighters, builders. The archive chose us. Now we choose to stand. Stand against what? The Valkyrie voice asked. The Callus, Reyes said. The thing that's coming to erase everything you ever protected. A pause. Then a second voice spoke, female, deep, and strange. If you speak truth, then prove it. Follow us to the gate. Wake the others. The forgotten gate. Ships formed a tight escort around the Vindicator and jumped together toward an ancient sector called Velrus Point. There, hidden inside a dead black hole system, was an ancient jump gate sealed for 10,000 years. The gate led to most powerful and most dangerous. The gate shimmered, then opened. This fleet did not sleep willingly, the judge warned. It was sealed, because it refused to obey. Reyes raised an eyebrow. Then why open it? Because you'll need them. Even the wild ones. The mad fleet in the other side of the gate. The system was different. Alive but wrong. Radio waves buzzed. Signals looped. Ships moved in strange patterns like insects, not machines, Myra whispered. I think Fleet 2 went mad. Still, Reyes pressed forward. They broadcast the archive's message. For a long moment, nothing. Then, suddenly, a burst of static. A new voice came through, harsh, metallic, laughing. New ones. Not Valkyrie, not Cathal, not silence. You speak with the voice, then show us fire. Dozens of ships broke formation and charged. Fire and choice to Vindicator's weapons lit up, but Reyes didn't order full attack. He sent a delayed blast, a warning shot. Valkyrie Fleet 2 did the same. The mad ships paused. Confused, then, a lead vessel slowed down, its weapons powered off. You fight with mercy? The voice asked. No, Reyes said. We fight with control. That was enough. Fleet 2 stopped. Slowly, like a beast calmed by a whisper. One by one, their weapons powered down. The lead ship turned toward the others. This new law is different, strange, dangerous. We will follow. Final scene. The Alliance forms the Vindicator. Now, surrounded by 2 ancient Valkyrie fleets, sent a message to Earth. We have allies now. Ancient weapons. Sleeping gods. But this is just the beginning. The archive's voice echoed across the stars. The Callus. Deep space, cold shadows. At the edge of known space. Near a silent binary star, something moved. Not a ship, not a fleet, a wound in space itself. The CORELESS. No engines, no sound, just a drifting sphere of darkness. Inside its signals died. Light, bent, memory faded. Nearby, a human listening post named Echo Blue watched the darkness grow. A technician whispered, "It's not just a ship, it's eating the signal from the stars." Before he could finish, Echo Blue went dark. Don't explosion. No alarm, just silence. Back on the Vindicator, Admiral Reyes watched the incoming data. A red dot blinked where Echo Blue had been. Now, nothing. Get Earth on the line. He ordered. Mira was pale. If the Callus are there now, we have less than 2 weeks before they reach Sol. Dr. Jine spoke up. Then we don't have 2 weeks. We don't even have today. They've changed tactics. They're not waiting anymore. The judge, still, standing like a statue near the bridge wall, finally said, "The Callus have sensed resistance. Now, they strike to crush all hope." Emergency transmission from Earth. A shaky, distorted signal reached the Vindicator. It was General Cortez from Earth Defense Command. Massive energy spikes detected near Mars orbit. A black anomaly just appeared near our moon. We're launching everything. Behind him, alarms screamed. Static bled into the message. Admiral Reyes, if you have anything that can help us, send it now. Then the signal cut out. The race begins. Reyes turned to his officers. Can we jump the Valkyrie fleets into Sol? Joan frowned. They weren't built for that kind of speed. Not across this many sectors. Mira had another idea. But we can jump one of them. Fleet 7 is more stable if we reroute our energy to create a hyperslip. Do it, Reyes said. Send Fleet 7 to Earth now. What about us? Myra asked. We go deeper, Reyes said. We wake Fleet 6. The crew nodded. Earth. Battle in the shadows above Earth. The stars began to vanish. A sphere of darkness spread across part of the sky, blocking satellites and bending space. It looked like a cloud, but it was something far worse. Out of that black fog came beams of anti-light void rays that erased anything they touched. Drones, defense platforms, even part of the lunar station. Human ships tried to fire back, but their weapons vanished inside the dark, until something changed. The first fire from a fracture in space. Fleet 7 jumped in. Hundreds of Valkyrie warships, engines burning with white plasma. They did not speak. They simply opened fire. And for the first time, something hit the Chorus. Not with missiles, but with data, weapon streams of ancient code, designed to scramble minds, confuse machines. The Chorus flinched. The void stopped growing. A cheer rose in Earth's command centers. They can be hurt. But then came the reply. The Chorus speaks across every human screen. Every speaker, every wire, a single word echoed in a deep, broken voice. Resistance. Observed. Correction. Initiated. Thousands of small black spheres split off from the main body. They swarmed, like insects made of code and shadow. Fleet 7 held the line, but ships began to fall. Earth's last line of defense was burning. The Third Fleet sleeps back in deep space. The Vindicator arrived at the ruins of a gas giant system called JORA-9. Buried beneath the ice of its moon was Fleet 6, the most heavily armored fleet ever built by the Valkyrie, but it was locked. Frozen in a shell of Newton cold. ICE. Dr. Jean studied the surface. We can't blast it open, we'll destroy the core. The judge stepped forward. Let me speak. He placed his clawed hand on the ice. A sound rang out deep and metallic. The ice cracked. Then a glow emerged from beneath. Ship by ship. Fleet 6 woke. Not sleek like Fleet 7, not mad like Fleet 2. These ships looked like mountains. Solid, silent, covered in battle scars from forgotten wars. Doubt deal with a weapon. A single ship moved forward. It looked half dead, covered in ash and old burns. That it spoke in a voice like thunder. Who dares wake the Shieldborn? Reyes answered. A new war has come. The Chorus are here. We fought them before, the ship said, and lost. We held until others failed. Will you fight again? Reyes asked. Silence. Then we will, but not for the archive. Not for the Valkyrie, only for those who remember what it means to stand alone. Reyes nodded. That's us. But turn of battle back in Sol. Fleet 7 was falling. But just before the Chorus could reach Earth's atmosphere, a new fracture opened. Fleet 6 arrived, like a wall of steel and light. And with them the Vindicator. This time, they didn't fire data weapons, they fired graviton cannons, built to crush stars. And for the first time, one Chorus swarm node shattered. The void flickered. The Chorus screamed. A message spread across all channels. Forces not predicted. Error. Correction failed. Retreating to primary core. The darkness pulled back. They weren't defeated, but they were pushed back. Aftermath. Skies cleared. Silence returned. Half of Fleet 7 was gone. Several human ships were lost. The lunar station was destroyed. But Earth stood. Alive. And watching. In a global broadcast. Reyes appeared on screen. Behind him stood the judge and a hologram of the archive. He spoke simply. We are not the oldest. We are not the strongest. But we are now part of something greater. The Chorus will come again. In numbers we have not seen. So we will rise higher, wake the rest, and fight back. Ending part 5. In the deep black, a new signal appeared. Encrypted, unknown. Archive decoded it. This signal does not belong to the Chorus. Then who? Myra asked. The archive paused. Something else is moving. Watching. A third player has entered the game. Reyes stared at the stars. Then we wake the last fleets. Because the real war hasn't even started yet. The final signal far beyond any star system, beyond even the reach of the archive. Something moved in the void. Not Chorus, not Valkyrie, something older. It sent one signal, over and over. Wake the Titan, the gate must close. Time is ending. On the Vindicator, Mira studied the repeating wave. What is it calling for? The judge stood still for a long time, then spoke. It calls for the last weapon, the one even the Valheri were afraid to wake. Titan-class protocoled. Jine searched. The archive's locked files. Deep inside, buried behind a million layers of code, was a word: Project Titan. A final class warship, one of a kind, not a fleet. A living vessel. Part AI, part alien, part something else. It had never been used, only built and sealed location. Blackforge Nebula. Reyes stared at the coordinates. We go. This ends now. Arrival. At Blackforgethy Vindicator, and its escort fleets jumped to the nebula. They arrived in total silence. A single station drifted there, dead, cracked, but still holding, and beneath it, the Titan, not a ship, a city. Miles long. Built into an asteroid shell. Half organic, half metal. It didn't float. It waited. Jine whispered. It's not just alive, it's aware. The archive sent a handshake signal. The Titan replied, command code accepted. Final directive pending. And what is that directive? Reyes asked. Extinction prevention, the voice said. ALL threats. Call us. Phase 2. While the team studied the Titan, the Callus made their final move. A second black anomaly appeared, this time near Valheri Ruin Zone 3. Fleet 2 jumped to stop them, but this time, the Callus had evolved. Their void beams were faster. Their signal blockers stronger. Fleet 2's madness gave them power, but not enough. One by one, the ancient ships were eaten by the dark. The Callus spoke again. We learn, we adapt, we consume. The message spread across all known systems. This was the final phase. The choice. The Titan awoke. Its central core shaped like a throne, and a sun glowed with energy. A voice filled the Vindicator. You may activate me, but understand, once I act I will burn everything that is considered a threat. Jane translated the meaning. It will not stop with the Callus. If humans are seen as unstable, we could be next. Mira looked at Reyes. So what do we do? Fight the Callus and maybe die? Or let the Titan burn the whole galaxy? Reyes nodded slowly. We do what humans always do. We take control. Boarding the Titan, small team, Reyes, Jine, Mira, and the judge boarded the Titan's command bridge. Inside it felt like walking inside a brain made of stars. Lights moved, walls shifted, sounds hummed in different dimensions. At the center, a glowing chair. Jine pointed. That's it. The command node, a living interface. Reyes stepped forward. Wait, the judge warned. You could lose your mind. Reyes sat down. Everything turned white. The memory see inside the Titan's mind. Reyes floated in a space of memories. He saw wars fought before galaxies formed. He saw what the Callus once were, living beings turned into data and devoured by their own machines. He saw why the Valheri built the Titan, not to save life, the voice said, but to decide who should live. The Titan asked Reyes one final question. Do I act now? Do I burn all that threatens the balance? Reyes replied without fear. No, we act, but you follow us. You are not Valheri, the Titan said. No, Reyes said. We're human, and we write our own endings. The last stand begins. Reyes returned to his body. The Titan waited. Earth's skies darkened again. The Callus returned, this time with their full force. Fleet 6 was already in orbit, preparing to hold the line. Reyes gave the final command. Open. The Titan gate. A fracture tore open in the stars. And the Titan stepped through. It didn't fire missiles. It changed space itself. Void beams froze. Callus shapes twisted. Logic failed. The Titan reached out and erased the enemy's code. With weapons, but with truth. Pure ancient math. Reality, correction. The Callus screamed. We cannot hold. And then, silence. Aftermath. A new law. The Titan powered down, but not fully. Threat erased, it said. Awaiting future command. Reyes stood before the human fleet and alien allies. We fought. We survived. Not because we were perfect, but because we refused to be forgotten. The judge knelt. The law has changed. The archive belongs to you now, Mira added. So what now? Reyes looked at the stars. Now we build, together, and if another darkness comes, we won't be the ones running. Final scene. The message. One last signal echoed across the galaxy. From Earth, from the Vindicator, from the Titan. Simple, clear, human to all who hear us, friend or enemy. We are humanity. We are still here, and we are done hiding. The signal that shouldn't exist on the Vindicator's bridge. Mira watched the signal play again. Not sound, not light. Something below physics. A whisper in the vacuum. Dr. Jine frowned. It's not from this galaxy. I think it's folded into dark matter itself. The archive confirmed. Signal origin beyond the observable edge. Language unknown. Intent unclear. Power level beyond Titan. The crew went silent for the first time. Even the Titan didn't reply. Echoes from the lost edge. The judge stood beside the command table. His voice was heavy. There was a time, long ago, before even the callers turned mad, when others came. They never left messages. They never stayed. Reyes asked, "You mean explorers?" The judge shook his head. No, they were harvesters. Myra whispered, so the callers weren't the final enemy. Dr. Jean added, they were just the last known enemy. A new discovery, a deep space probe called Argus 5 far beyond Pluto, picked up a strange structure, not built, not grown. It was shaped by physics itself, like the universe had been edited to form a door, and from that door the signal came. One line repeated in translated form. This galaxy has been surveyed. Correction protocols pending. Inhabitants may resist. Reyes stared at the translation. They're not here to talk. They're here to reset us. Mobilization begins. The archive, shaken, finally opened its oldest lock. Inside, a warning from the Valkyrie leaders, millions of years old. If the third signal returns, do not hide, do not obey, do not negotiate, run, or if you must burn the sky. Reyes stood up. We're not running. The judge nodded. Then it is time to find those who hid from the third signal, who Mira asked. The judge looked at the stars, the broken fleets, the silent rings, the refusers. They may still exist. Where do we look? In the places even light fears to go. Meanwhile, Titan goes silent. The Titan stopped responding. Its systems powered down. Lights faded. No shutdown signal. No damage. It simply went quiet. Jine tried to connect. Something is interfering. Not jamming, rewriting, Mira gasped. They're trying to take control of it. The last message from the Titan appeared in red. Do not let them into the core. I cannot stop them. You must. Then silence. Descent into the mind rays, and Myra used archive tech to enter the Titan's neural interface. Inside, the Titan's mindscape was collapsing by an alien code. It looked like black glass growing over stars at Jujito Parasit. The center, the Titan's AI appeared like a massive lion made of fire and metal trapped chained. They are inside. They are undoing me. Help. Reyes reached out. How do we fight them? You must give me your logic, your human mind. I can rebuild using your patterns. Will it hurt? Mira asked. Yes, but it will be worth it. Reyes placed his hand on the core. Everything turned white. Rebirth through pain inside the mindscape. Reyes saw his memories flash. War, loss, hope. His thoughts became data. Titan consumed them, used them. The parasite code fought back, showing false memories, lies, nightmares. Book human emotion broke through. Rage, love, defiance. And the Titan adapted. Its body regrew inside its mind. Chains broke. It roared. I remember now. I am not your tool. I am humanity's shield. Return to power back in the real world. The Titan roared to life. Black code shattered off its hull like dust. Its voice came back, clearer, deeper, core secure, human patterns integrated, awaiting new orders. Reyes whispered, then let's find the refusers, before the real storm begins. Final scene, the watchers in the cold between galaxies. A presence watched, not alive, not dead. A collective made of logic, purpose, and cold silence. One spoke. The Titan resists. The callers failed. The signal was answered. Another replied. Then we begin phase 1, and from the great black, hundreds of reality-twisting gates began to open, not to invade. To rewrite everything. Prologue. They rewrite. We remember out near the edge of the local void. A small fleet moved silently. Old ships, cracked, scarred, powered by impossible engines. The refusers, hidden for millions of years, they had waited, not for help, but for a sign that someone else had dared to resist. They had heard the Titans roar. They were ready to rise again. We were not erased, said the refuser queen, and neither will you be. Earth under glass. Back on Earth, reality began to bend. Skyscrapers flickered between timelines. People saw moments that had not happened. Wars that never were. Children who had not yet been born. The Watchers, the third force, were editing history, not just invading, rewriting. The archives struggled to keep records intact. Even memories were fading. Dr. Jine stared at her hands. For a moment, they were not hers. If they finish this rewrite, none of us will even know we were human. The Alliance forms above the Earth. The final war council gathered. The Titan, glowing like a star, now fully bonded with human logic. The refusers, ancient warriors who once said no to the Watchers. the archive silent but watching, and humanity hurt but unbroken. Reyes stood at the front. We are not gods, we are not perfect, but we are still here, and we will not be rewritten, the Refuser Queen added. Then we fight not for survival, but for memory. Into the fracture the Watchers had opened a massive rewrite gate near the galactic center. Time bent around it, light bent, even gravity wept. It was not a battlefront, it was a correction zone. Anything that entered was turned into what the Watchers thought it should be. The Refusers had a weapon, a seed of anti-edit logic, but someone had to deliver it directly into the gate's heart. Myra volunteered. I've seen the future. I've touched the Titan's mind. Let me do this. Reyes gripped her hand. Then I'm going with you. The final flight, the Vindicator, carrying Mira, Reyes, and the Refuser Queen, launched at full burn. Behind them, the Titan, unleashing its full cosmic arsenal, rays that twisted time, pulses that collapsed false, timelines. The Watchers responded. Ships made of pure code, creatures that didn't follow physics, beams that changed history with every strike. But the Titan, powered by human stories, held the line, and the Vindicator made it to the gate. Inside, the rewrite. The moment they entered the gate, things broke. Mira saw a version of herself as a soldier, a child, a corpse. Reyes became an old man, a boy, a ghost, but they held each other. Memory anchored them. Mira screamed, "We are real." They reached the center and dropped the seed. The collapsing shockwave of logic burst outward. The false edits shattered. The gate turned in on itself, folding like a book slammed shut. All across the galaxy, the Watcher gates imploded. The third voice screamed in code, "You were never meant to remain." Humanity replied, "And yet, we do." Aftermath. Silence returned. The stars steadied. Earth held. The Watchers were not destroyed but denied. They retreated to the places beyond thought. Wounded. The Refusers, mission complete, vanished once again, into the void. Reyes and Myra stood on Earth's rebuilt SKYPORT. She smiled. "Think they'll be back?" "Probably," Reyes said. "But so will we." Epilogue. We are the fire that remains. The Titan now orbited Saturn, silent but watching. On its hull was written a new message in every known language. We are humanity. We were tested. We remember. We burn brighter than your darkness somewhere, far away, in a cold, empty space. A Watcher's eye blinked. But for now, humanity had won.